I will do that. Here I can say backup to a plain folder instead of zip file. This is the incremental backup. So it means it doesn't make backup, backup, backup. It makes just a backup, and then it makes just the addition, the new things that have been done since the last backup. It adds to this. So there is one folder with one backup, always up to date. If you leave it like that, you have a zip file. This zip file is every time is made new. So therefore, if you keep 3, then it is getting bigger, bigger, bigger. The thing is really that we had this one custom with 19,000 analyses. The backup took about 7 hours, something like that. Backup 7 hours, and the update from 2.1 to 2.2 took about 9 hours. So I just say next. So I want to create a zip file. So where on the computer I would like to do that. So it is created a Camag backup automatically. This is created. You can use that, or you can use any other folder. That's normal. So I say okay. It goes now fast, as you see. Backup is checked. Backup done. Everything backup finished. If there is something wrong, you will see that here. So I go back now, and the scheduler for the backup. So here it says nothing is scheduled. So and here now I can say I can do my backup. Just remind me, but you have to do it manually. But frankly speaking, I don't see why you would like to do it manually.
You can do it automatically.
So this one is the setting you should have. It is via automatic backup. Do the backup automatically. Here you can browse the drive. I go now to the Q drive. The Q drive is. Okay. So you see here the E drive, and now it says no. So it tries to write, and now it sees okay, there is a CD in, I can't write, so it says stop, this won't work. So this is always important. If you have here a stop sign, the backup won't work for me. So I have to go back to see Camag backups, and with that it is checking now, checking, and then green tick means fine. Starting time, you can always set that to now. That's the wrong time because I did a setup without internet connection. So you can set it to now, then you can say the backup should be executed weekly or monthly. So weekly, here you have the days. You can say this is every. This will be now every working day. For us, at least every working day. Sorry. You could also say okay, every day, whatever. Okay. And if it is monthly, it says backup will occur each month on day 31, because I set here the starting day. If
so 30 it would be 30. This is what you want. Yeah, again.
Yeah, you can. So we see here now it's on day 30. So day 31 would be tricky because it would
sometimes
every second it would give us an error message. Then backup, a number of backups to keep. This is if you go to a zip file, it says, okay, I write 10 and the 11th now I delete. This is also depending on custom setting. If he picks up this and stores, you can go here to 1.
Yes, of course.
You can go here to 1 because he is picking up and putting it on safe place, so there is no reason to keep to occupy space. Then this is again backup to plain folder. This is the same thing. So it says it is a plain folder means to a folder there is data and nothing more. no zip file, but it is incremental, so it is just doing what is new. So therefore, also there, if the customer is picking that up every week or so, that is fine. And then alert the user if the scheduled backup is 4 days late. So if you have a backup, there should be a backup, but it hasn't been done. Because as we said this morning, if you switch on the instrument after backup, it is doing backup. And if that doesn't appear for whatever reason, it gives you an alert that says, hey, backup is not done.
Yeah.
And here you can save the changes. And here then we will see that later on, this is about restore. We just did a backup threads, you know, so we did the backup now and we checked. And with that we can do a restore. We will see later on. So just to quickly go to Camag backups, here you see now this zip file. If you go into this zip file, you see here BAK. This is the backup from the database. And you see that is now 4 mega in size, so that's quite small, but this can grow and grow and grow, and handling of large files is sometimes a bit tricky. We had in the United States this case that with this 19,000 analyses, they had 1 terabyte on their hard disk. But they had just one hard disk with 1 tera, and it was 970 giga was used because they stored some backups, okay, also, and things like that. And so they couldn't move around files, so they started to delete image folders and things like that, and that ended up in a data loss. So again, therefore, what I said, check carefully the specs of the computer, and a hard disk drive today is really a small amount of money compared to problems that you may have later on. So therefore, if it's 500 giga or 1 tera, if you look to the whole investment, it's really a small portion of money. But it's always the same. IT is trying to cut down and so here, I put that and I close that. So here, this is the real backup of the database, and here you see the backup of the. So it is not the backup. You're in the zip file, so they are just the files, the scan profiles, correction data, and the analysis files. So the analysis, the pictures of the analysis files. So here you can see the data, the backup data. So therefore, also do not delete something out of that because it's the backup. If you do that, then you will have problem. We will use that later on.
But CNC also. And see the driver.
I did it now. And that is, if you remember, if you remember now that it should be now that we say, okay, it is on this location. Pick it up every night at 2 o'clock or whatever time. Pick it up to save it on a safe place. To store it on a safe place. If we go back to this drawing here, you see now Vision Cats, SQL Server, and the database. The backup of the database file. So if we quickly go into program where you remember where we did the installation, here now you see NDF and LDF. It was NDF, not LDF. NDF and LDF. These are the two database files. This one, the NDF, is keeping the real data, and this one is the database structure. So never ever delete these files like that. If I delete these files now like that,
What's that?
we literally would have to restore the PC somehow. The thing is that if SQL Server sees that there is a there should be a database, but there is no database, at the uninstalling, it gives an error. I can't uninstall because I can't delete the database I made. So you can't delete SQL Server, and with that you can't delete Vision Cats and things. So really, I did that once at the real beginning of 3 years ago. I thought, okay, what happens when I delete? And then we really had to to get it. So never ever delete this at the real beginning. We will show that later, or I will show that later on. But as the software itself, to check the software, we go to programs and features. Luckily, it is in English installation, not a German installation. So usually at the custom side, you see here, it is doing like that. Here, luckily, it is a completely new installation.
Yeah.
We have really seen only several, or we see only several.
Yeah.
Here, this is Vision Cats, and this one here is SQL Server. So it's just this one which is SQL Server. All this one is, how we call it in German, it's Zugemüse. It is just additional things, but it is not really the program. It is just addition, which is not really. It is needed, but you can uninstall only this entry, and with that you uninstall SQL Server. So what we are going to do is, so we made some change, as you have seen. We uninstall now Vision Cats. Right mouse click, uninstall, and now it says, okay, uninstall, yes, we want to uninstall, and it's now preparing the uninstallation. So we did some change, you remember, we added this folder, and with that, we can see then the difference when we read it. So Vision Cat has been uninstalled, that is quite good and fast. With that now, you see here I have added Camag, Vision Cats, and here still this LDF and NDF files are present. It's not the backup.
Not the backup, yeah.
It is the real database which is there. If I delete it now, again, you will have big problems. Because remember, we just uninstalled Vision Cats. So not SQL Server, we installed this one, the top layer. And now we can go back here and say, yes, we uninstall, here we remove. So we remove SQL Server with that. So now, first we did uninstall this one, and now we uninstall SQL Server. So if you have something like Vision Cats is crashing sometimes, you can reinstall Vision Cats without losing data. So if at this point, if you just reinstall, we have the data because the database is still there. If you install Vision Cats will see, okay, there is a database already, so we will reinstall that. Here we have just Camag. It can be that on the customer side that there are different so-called instances. So SQL database is not only Camag, maybe they have other software that is using SQL Server as well. So make sure that you have here just Camag and not the other one. Then I can say yes, here I can say select all, next. So here we see the status. First we select the instance, means we select Camag. Then we select the features that we want to. Then the rules, and ready to remove. Now remove. Now is the removal is really in progress. And now we really uninstall SQL database. I show you that, but just to show you how it is done. Don't do it just for fun. But on sometimes we will tell you, okay, you have to uninstall Vision Cats and SQL Server and then reinstall. If you do something like that, always think on customers' IQ, OQ. If he has IQ, OQ, discuss this in advance to the customer, with the customer. I think it's nothing worse than you do something and at the end the customer is saying, yeah, but what is now with our qualification? You have to requalify everything or so. So they have to be okay. So talk to them in advance what you're going to do, and then they have to say yes, okay, and do that.
This backup save the license.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as you have, so okay, this is run, and if we go now back here, we still have this.
Yeah.
If we would now reinstall Vision Cats and SQL Server, we would have the license, we would have all use that we made, we would have everything. What I now do is, I delete. So if you do this, you have to be aware, I delete now this folder. And you have now to be aware, I delete customers' data completely. After that, it is deleted. You can get it back with a backup, if you have one. But this is now deleting customers' data. Yeah. And if we go now, back in here, and let that run.
Start again from the beginning.
We do reinstall that.
Yeah.
So what we did now is we first uninstalled Vision Cats, then we uninstalled SQL Server, we then deleted this one. And with that, almost all files and information that was on the computer are gone. Except I have a backup.
The backup. Only backup.
If you have something like that, or if you have to do something like that, always make sure that you really made a backup. In the United States, again, the customer with this 19,000 data, I really go back to this a lot because he did a lot of strange things. He did a backup, but he stopped it in the middle of the backup. Therefore, the backup was not done correctly. Therefore, I usually, if I go to the customer, I do a backup on my own, just to be sure that I have a backup. I ask, do you have a backup? And if they say yes, okay, fine, okay. Then I do a backup on my own.
Yeah.
So you see here now it is installing SQL Server Express again. We will see them later on. With that, we will have a completely new installation. And with that, then we can do the restore, and then we have the change we made. Yeah. And then I'm finished.
Kannst du ja erzählen, warum das auch braucht?